Okay, hello to everyone that is watching this interview. Welcome to yet another one of these. You are with Noor here. I run the operations side of EasyGrow, and today I'm joined by another one of our wonderful clients called Dylan, who's actually smashed it with the program, and he's only been with us for 3 months. So I wanted to interview him today about his success and also his business partner's success, who's called Dan. So shout out to Dan if you're watching this. We'll get a separate one with you when you're available. But yeah, today we're going to do this interview. As stated, it's only been 3 months, so Dylan, I'm probably going to get you and Dan for a part two down the
100%.
line. But for now, we'll do part one. So yeah, Dylan, for the people watching this, why don't you introduce yourself? What you do, who you serve, and ultimately what transformation you deliver.
Yeah, so we primarily help online fitness coaches with their sales and marketing funnels. So not only are we helping them also to acquire clients, which is why this program was super useful to not only help ourselves but also our clients. But we help them with the content and marketing side of things to generate those leads, speak to the exact type of people that they're working with, and then also book them into appointments through appointment settings. So it's all done for you. We help them basically just have to make content and then take the sales calls, and that's all they need to do before they get new clients. And very much the transformation that we're offering is helping them go from 5 to 10k in monthly revenue up to 30 to 50,000. Our top clients are doing about 100,000, but obviously we can't promise that for everyone. To be a little bit tough to deliver that for 100% of people.
Yeah, there we go. And just to paint a picture for the people that are watching this, because everyone just loves to know, revenue numbers within these interviews. Where were you revenue wise before you joined the program compared to where you are right now?
Sick. Yeah. So before joining the program, like the 6 months previous, we were doing, high teens, so like 18, 19, 20,000. We hit a few months above 20,000, but by not having a really good consistent funnel to get new clients for ourselves, anything outside of word of mouth, we dropped down to doing, between 12 to 15,000. And just being in the program, as Noor said, for 3 months, we've already generated 30k of new revenue by following the program for 2 months. So if we're being realistic, we've already doubled our contracted revenue in just the last 60 days of actually implementing this stuff in the program.
Yeah, there we go. And for people's reference, I think it's going to be 3 months come the first of first of August. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I said part one. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
love it, man. And Dylan, obviously we spoke a bit just before we started recording this. Why don't you let the people know a bit more about the sort of roller coaster that you described there before you joined the program in terms of having to like heavily rely on referrals and all sorts of things because the business was clearly succeeding. It was just a bit messy in terms of how you were getting clients, right?
Yeah, there was so many like operational drag. Like we had like five different types of clients, and it's something that's very big in the program of that like operational drag when you have multiple different offers. You're serving one client one way and one client the other way. So we had that realization last year, and we dropped. We went from working with like 22 clients to like 7 or 8 clients, and they were all higher ticket clients, but what happened was because we had less clients and because we only had a couple of offers, we started to slowly, those clients dwindled away. And because we only had so few clients, it was harder to get referrals in the door because you know yourself with referrals, it's up and down. Like you'll get one month and then five the next month and then zero for 3 months straight. So I think from kind of September up until March of this year, we had zero new clients. So in a 6 month period, and that's the longest that's happened. We took on 2 clients in March, I believe, and then we had another before joining the program, another 2 month spell of absolutely nothing. So like even before joining the program, we were already seeing like, hey, it's a very downward trend that we're seeing. And even though we really heavily focused on results, no matter how much results we gave the clients, they only have so many people in their network. They can only refer so many. And a lot of these clients have been with us for a year and a half, 2 years, so their network had ran dry. um and just by having that solid funnel that brought clients to us, we could, have gone from never communicating with them ever to them signing up and paying $5,000 in full. The realization of that was the most powerful because we're
Yeah.
now able to go, doesn't matter whether, if the business drops 50% next month or goes up 300%, we have the systems in place that now we know we can generate new clients whenever we want.
Yeah, love it. And nothing beats the feeling of predictability.
Yeah,
It's like a safety net where it's like,
yeah,
oh, is this guy gonna refer me? Is this guy gonna refer me? It's like, okay,
yeah,
this is the numbers I need to hit. This is the estimated clients I'm gonna get if I do X, Y, Z.
yeah.
That's how you want your business to run. So How did you actually come across the program, Dylan? It'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, so Dan found a sponsored post. I
There we
think it
go.
was like 2 months before the before we joined the program, and then I believe he transitioned over to watching a few YouTube videos. And his first impression of the posts were like, "This is too good to be true. Like this is like this doesn't work. Like there's no way this actually works." And after even watching the YouTube videos, a little bit more trust, but he was like, "There's no way." And he jumped on with Jack on the phone, and just the questions that Jack asked him of like, "Well, how do you guys get clients on demand?" Like the stuff from the sales
Yeah,
script. Dan was like, "Oh, this guy just knows 10 times more than I do." Like we're working in client acquisition and we
yeah,
just don't have a consistent funnel to get clients on demand. So yeah, after that, kind of myself and Dan talked, and Dan was like, "This is a must-do investment." Like obviously it's a team decision, but
yeah,
he sold it so well to me by how well you guys talked to us that we just had to jump in and do it.
yeah. I love it, man. And talk to me about how you and Dan approached the program, Dylan. Like, let's just say, day one, you're entering with zero sense of predictability. Like you said there, it's been a roller coaster in terms of, right, referrals, no referrals. What the hell am I doing? You enter this program, and obviously there's a lot to take in. How
Yeah.
did you and Dan navigate it to get to the point you are at right now, where in under 3 months, you've made some really decent headway?
Yeah, even after joining, it was very much him nagging me to go watch the initial few videos because I was like, I don't have
Oh, to
3 hours
death.
in my day. I gotta do the job of what, an employee that we're hiring should be doing because we were still kind of,
Yeah.
again, we were in that point of like, 12, 13K months and we had 12, 13K out a month. And it's like, we don't have the ability to go and like pay for another staff, pay 1,500 for a staff member. And just kind of us getting through the first pieces of content, we realized, oh, we have so much more higher leverage stuff that we can be doing that just by hiring a staff member to go in and do the DMs for our clients, just by
Yeah.
watching the 10, 15 hours of content going over a specific thing that kind of Charlie put together, we can make way more money. Because us sending outreach for ourselves, I think we did the maths on it, 15 times more valuable for our time per minute than if we go and do it for clients,
Yeah.
in terms of outsourcing it. So it's like, if we're just focusing on following the program, we will make 15 times more actual revenue by us doing all of the right work by then doing the work we do now.
Yeah, that's it. And it's funny you say that because that's always like a common objection during the sales process, and even like during when you're in the program, when you're like, oh, there's so many, this the
Yeah,
acquisition genesis,
yeah,
it's a monster. There's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
hours to consume. But
yeah,
I think you put it perfectly there, Dylan, where it's like, right, if you consume these, 15 to 25 hours worth of content, set aside a week or even 2 weeks, right?
yeah,
You'll save hundreds of hours in the long term. And what you just mentioned there just sticks out to me because you just said there, it's like, right, what you learned from AG and the videos is like, oh, I need to, as a business owner, focus on higher leverage activities.
yeah,
And now you probably got a lot off your plate now. So
yeah.
I want to actually dig deeper into that. So what specific tasks were you doing that you simply didn't need to do, man?
Yeah, so for context, Dan, like co-partner in the business, but like
Yeah,
I founded the business. It's always been my little baby. I've always had this like aggressive attachment to kind of my ego and doing absolutely everything. And if a staff member can't do 3,000% of what I can do on day one, fuck them, they're dumb, and it's their fault for not understanding my business. That's like my entire life, 55, 60 hours a week, and my calendar used to be filled with and because I've been doing like it was really nice to kind of see Charlie's importance and focus on like calendar and tracking because I've been doing that for 3 years now. Like when I was in therapy, I've really struggled before starting this business to kind of build up and go. I need to do tasks. Like I can't just play FIFA in my underwear every day. So kind of when starting this business, I was very very focused on that accountability of self of track absolutely everything. If I send 50 outreach on my first client, I'm tracking that in Google Calendar so I can have the data of then outsourcing it to someone in 5 years, 10 years from that point. And because Dan was very much focused on kind of marketing and the ideas for clients and a little bit more of the general strategy for the business, I was doing all the management, but also all of the client issues, all of the customer service, all of the day-to-day stuff, which I was like, this is going to grow the business because the better we serve the clients, the more they're going to refer, the more money we're going to make. So it was always focused on client delivery and fulfillment over anything because that was the highest leverage thing I could do was make the clients happy so we got more referrals so we made more money. There was no other possibility to get more people. And now in 2 months, my calendar has gone from that to I talk to clients like twice a day on calls. I respond to messages once a day for 15, 20 minutes. My girlfriend, who's now working in the business full time because we can afford to kind of have her in, is doing
Amazing.
all of the client messaging and like staff management. And then I jump on 2 calls with the team a week and do a little bit of admin until we hire our next VA this week. So like my day next week is going to be sending outreach to new clients, creating content, and doing leadership team meetings, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like no actual like work, what is considered work. And like 2 months ago, I was like, if I don't send DMs at 9 p.m., the clients are going to be pissed and all leave us. And
Yeah.
now it's like I have staff that can do that, and I can get more clients.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's so crazy, Dylan, and I love the fact that you shared the specific transformation that you achieved in terms of like a time saving perspective
Yeah.
from simply putting in the hours of watching the video. Because again, again, you probably felt the same way when you're watching the video. You're probably thinking, man, this is just so much content. Like I don't
I
have
had
the
it on 2.5 speed as well because I'm
yeah,
like,
dude,
I don't have 3 hours. I have to
I
do it in
don't
2.5 speed.
I don't have the time for this. I need to do every this, that. And by the
Mm-hmm.
end of the module, you go, oh, I've got all the time in the world
Yeah.
because of the stuff I've learned. And it's just a matter of us telling our clients, just trust us, be
Yeah.
patient. And then, you're in a position like Dylan here. So, Dylan, it's funny you mentioned creating content and even sending new outreaches. Depending on how systemized the outreach is, you can probably get that off your plate.
Yeah, it's very much like we got our so Dan's been kind of doing all the cold and I've been focusing on warm. So
Yeah.
I've been doing like our current network, and out of the 30K we've made, the first 20K was just off of our own network by Dan sitting down and doing the offer module and kind of building an actual offer that worked and communicated it. So like that was just the current network. So even though that was a big win, it was like, okay, it's still our current network. It's still kind of referrals or people we've
Yeah.
worked with in the past. The last 2 sales now have been people that I spoke to that have never seen us before, but they were connections of current clients. So our current clients were following us, and like the new people that we outreach to came onto the page. They saw, oh, like this person that works with these guys, they're good, and those are the last 2 sales. And then the call I had yesterday, which so pissed I didn't take the payment on the call. He said he's going to put on the Amex, but I'm still confident he'll come on because the call went well and the process went well. Yeah. But I now have the ability and faith that I can get people who have never seen us before to pay us $5,000 on the first call. And that's kind of the transformation. It's like we now have a predictable way to get clients who have never seen us ever before. And my ego of being like I have to do so awesome and I am the business has now been detached because people will say yes to paying us money with never seeing all the work that we put in for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It's just a communication issue more so than an actual work issue.
That's it. And let's touch on how you and Dan are currently generating appointments, Dylan. So obviously you've gone from a sense of unpredictability, right? And now you just told me that, I know my numbers, I know how to get clients, I've got so much confidence. What specific strategies are you running at the moment? It'd be good to know.
Yeah, so we tried to do email before working with you guys, and then even when we jumped on, we tried to do email again. It's just been rough. We haven't really found success. Just a lot of negativity. People saying "go screw yourself," and it's just it's a more difficult format to do. It's easier to scale, but before we have the resources and the manpower, we kind of abandoned that one very quickly. So we've been focusing on LinkedIn cold. Which people are getting warmed up by our content. We message them, they see the content we're posting, which even is only getting like 4 or 5 likes, and half of them are from our current clients on our other accounts. But just by having content that's speaking directly to our niche, who, they see us, they see the voice note that is templated from you guys of like, hey, can I send you on a quick, 2-minute video? And people are responding saying, yeah, of course. Like, I haven't yet, like Dan's had a few people who are, dicks, but I haven't had anyone yet who's like, hey, screw yourself, and it's like, even if they do, I'm like, oh, I don't care because I've made money off this. Like we had someone a couple of weeks ago who we on top of doing LinkedIn, we're also doing Instagram cold outreach. And again, we started with following online fitness coaches who were being followed by our clients just so they could see like followed by X. But now we've expanded out and we're still booking appointments off of people who are following coaches who have never even worked with us before. So we have mutuals, but there's no mutual connection of like, they work with us and we work with them. You know, they're just jumping on and seeing we work with fitness coaches and we have a few mutuals. And people even jumping in and saying like, hey, I wouldn't like basically someone asked me for the price there a week ago, and me 3 months ago before going through acquisition genesis, going through self transcendence, I would have been like, oh, maybe we have to tell the price in the DMs. And it's like, it's something that we tell our coaches that we work with, never tell the price. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
we
of
will
course.
never tell someone the price. We will ask them if they can be resourceful, no matter what their financial situation. And if they say no, they're not open to getting help, they're not a lead, they're not worth trying to book in, you know? But when it comes to you and your own business, it's like, well, what if I tell them the price, and what if that's what makes me more money, and and it's like having the confidence to know that the numbers and the data and the system works is like, hey man, I don't give the price, that's how it works. And him going, well, I give you some unsolicited advice, it's like, no thanks, goodbye, you know, I'm not interested. So I know I kind of got off the point of kind of the platforms that we're using, but kind of that's how we've been able to manifest it.
Nice.
But yeah, the Instagram cold through mutual connections, and just kind of following more coaches, and even some of them are following us back as well. You know, which is
Yeah.
good because the more coaches we get in our network, the more Instagram's going to refer us on to more coaches. But yeah, Instagram cold and LinkedIn cold,
Yeah.
and then initially reaching out to the 80 people that we've worked with in the past, and 4 of them signing up.
Yeah. Love it. And Dylan, talk to me, man. How tricky was it to get this set up and going for you? Coming from someone that, you did try different things before joining. Like, talk to me about the process. Was it complicated or was it like just up and running?
It is unfortunately simple, and in a way of like nothing in the videos or the processes were in any way complicated, but
Yeah.
it was just the financial transaction of like, hey, here you go, Jack, like here's my credit card information, I'm paying, and now I have to go and do the work. It's like I have now invested what would be 5 months, 6 months of an employee working for me. I now have to do that same level of work for our own business. But yeah, it's very much like the tough part is the amount of information. So especially
Yep.
the more so focused, like people focused and communication focused, like I really struggled with, watching those videos, having to watch them 1 or 2 times, like taking breaks in the middle because it's just so much information.
Yeah.
But kind of as I said to you before when we jumped on, like having the language that myself and Dan had been trying to communicate to each other of numbers and people for so long, and having the correct videos to say, hey, go watch this again because this breaks down an issue we've been having for the past 6 months to a year. Like me now being able to say, hey, this is how our North Star works, and this is what our KPIs look like, and this is what this is, and this is how we generate more clients, and this is what our cost per client is. And just having that
Yeah.
language
Yeah.
now to be able to communicate a kind of a common language that we have now learned, it just made it 10 times easier. So it's like if you put in the work, you watch the fucking videos and you just
That's it.
get through the program, like you will just make money. Like this is a very simple process to follow.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, for people watching this for reference, it's funny, it's funny Dylan says that because I was just joking around with Dylan here, that both him and Dan, the only time they post in the group is when they sign a client who have success. So I was asking Dylan, I'm like, oh hey, you guys never needed help, and Dylan just said what he said there. He's like, oh no, it's so simple. We just use the videos and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, it's like there might be a time when we hit a plateau and it
Yeah,
becomes a challenge of like, hey, we can't break through 40K new revenue months, and we've tried to outsource to staff and they're not picking it up the same, or whatever the issue at that point may be. But like it's very easy. Like we're also having to kind of manage current clients and also building a team. There's a lot of moving parts. But if we had a kind of functioning business where I could focus full-time client acquisition, just with the systems I know now, we can make 40K in new revenue every single month.
yeah.
You know,
Boom.
it's like there's 2 months of just watching 30 hours of videos and actually waking up and putting outreach on your calendar every day, putting interacting on LinkedIn and Instagram every single day. Sending, like, just being quick and responsive with the leads when they're getting back to you, because there's the leads are there, they want your help.
Yeah, that's it. Dylan, obviously the program, it contains a lot of information, as you know, and as we're
Yeah,
speaking here. Um, and not only the content, but you got the group support and also the different type of coaching calls.
yeah,
What are the areas that you love the most in your 3 months, as well as Dan?
yeah.
Has there been anything that particularly stood out for you? Outside of the DM strategy and acquisition genesis, is there anything that had caught your attention and has really
Yeah.
helped the business?
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't actually shown up to any of the coaching calls, which is probably a little silly on our part because it's live training. But really, like, again, just the personal anecdotes that kind of the videos use. So it's specifically talking about, hey, this is how this system is related to biology, and this is how this system is related to this, and just like being able to then communicate to clients in the same way. It's like it's not a new skill, but it's something that I now understand. Okay, when you utilize examples well, this is how it can look. So if I kind of jump on a client call and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this thing here is how we do, like, this is the same way that you do it in your fitness coaching program. You know, you
There we
guys are
go.
looking at the metrics of the weight that your clients are at every single week. We're looking at the numbers of the call booking percentage every single week. So it's not something that's going to always go up or always go down. It's going to stagnate a little bit and then work in the right direction. So just having those personal examples to use on the videos has been amazing.
Amazing.
But yeah, the video courses, like, it's everything. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's like 2 hours of like in-depth breakdowns where it's like, and me and Dan have said this, like, there are videos for us, like the systems one, that could have been 5 minutes for me. Like, I watched that video on 3 times speed. I was like, I'm bored because this is information I all
Yes.
know. But then when Dan goes and watches it, he's like, my head's fried because it's not his skill set, it's not his area of
Exactly.
expertise. You
Yeah.
know? So just being able to fill those gaps where you're not going to be perfect on the places where you suck, but you're 80% there. And that's
Yeah.
enough to kind of grow the business.
Yeah. Let's dig deeper into the communication part, Dylan, because I find that interesting where, like we spoke, where you mentioned just sometimes where you think you're able to communicate towards your clients, but then you're
Yeah.
struggling to get out of your mind. Like,
Yeah.
what what were the struggles you were facing, and what specifically from the videos really helped you gain clarity and be able to explain with confidence to your clients the different examples, how you can deliver for them and whatnot? Because that's quite
Yeah.
interesting to hear, because we rarely hear that.
Yeah, I think funny enough, the communication aspect, it's kind of twofolded. One, having the confidence to know that if we lose a client today, we can get one tomorrow is such a
Nice.
powerful mindset shift. It's like we've had, like, my girlfriend knows like a few influencers, and it's like they've been asking to work with us, and we want to specify and just work with online fitness coaches rather than kind of work with more industries. If we wanted to work in more industries, we want to make 30K more with the leads that we have. It's just like we're trying to only work with our specialized niche so we can scale easier long term and have a bigger base. But not only that, being able to then leave clients on red and go, we'll talk about it on the call, and then able to actually sit down and strategize with that has been insane. But then, like, as I said, it's like being able to take the information that I fundamentally understand, but put it into words that I know people who aren't interested in data and don't, play football manager in their free time because they love looking at Google Sheets all day. It's like they don't get it. Like, if I give you like a spreadsheet, and I, like, even our team spreadsheets, and I go, this is the information, and sometimes our team's like, because
Yeah.
it's not intuitive to them. So being able to have that language from the videos to communicate exactly has been just super powerful because I can put it in words that's easy for everyone rather than just what makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You
Love
know?
it. Amazing. And Dylan, how does your business currently look from like a team standpoint, in terms of, it's obviously you, Dan, and your girlfriend. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if you have like any VAs in place or team members to handle some of the work that you took off your plate, and what would your goal be for the next few months in terms of revenue and
Yeah.
team standpoint as well?
Yeah, I'd love to, if I'm looking like 6 month goals, I'd love to be doing consistent, like even just consistent 30, 40K contracted. Like, I'm not looking for something crazy, just like bump my, because we have to take a wage cut of like, 20%, not only to get into the program, but also just because the finances are going a little bit down. So, we had to drop the wages. And I'd love to just, like, we're basically probably a month away now from being able to up the wages again, just with like
Nice.
cash flow reserves, which is awesome. Like 2-3 months down, like before even the program finishes, we're already able to kind of
Yeah, that's it.
afford that and then also up the wages again. But yeah, just getting the wages back up for ourselves and then also expanding out the team a little bit. So I would say that's probably going to be like 30,000-40,000 of like recurring revenue rather than
Yeah.
contracted. And that will come as the contracts end and we then move them onto recurring contracts. But if we're talking team,
Yeah.
like my girlfriend, she's doing kind of a split managed. Like, she started doing the DMs for ourselves
Mhm.
like 4 or 5 months ago, and just picked that up super intuitively. Like, she's got tons of experience doing sales and like leading teams and stuff like that in person. So it's just super intuitive. But now we've already got 2 people underneath her that like are killing it. Like, they're hitting KPIs day one. So they're both from the Philippines. But like English is perfect, like really, really good kind
Yeah.
of communication, which is super important. I'd love to just hire like 4 or 5 more people,
Yeah.
and get them on to do kind of the DM side of things. And then we also have, so it's myself and Dan on the leadership team, then my girlfriend coming on to the leadership team now. She's moving more into a managerial position. And then 2 VAs slash appointment setters, and then 1 content editor.
Yeah.
And it's a team of 6. And I before you, I just talked to someone to kind of interview for the next position, and I'm probably going to hire 2 more people this month.
Yeah. Scaling fast.
Yeah, so like going from 5 to 8 within like 30 days, basically.
Yeah, that's it. And just touching on that, Dylan, like, how does it feel knowing you have the power to do that now because of the sense of predictability that you have? Because
Yeah.
before, I'm assuming you can't, willy-nilly hire this person, hire that person, hire this
Oh yeah.
person because of referrals. But now it's like, right, we got a plan here. We can bring
It's
people in.
Yeah, it's why we screwed up the last time. Like we had a team of 9 back October of last year, and rather than me actually doing work, I was twiddling my thumbs playing FIFA all day.
Yeah.
And I did that because I didn't know how to do the client outreach and
Yeah.
how to acquire people. I was like, well, all the work's off my plate. I guess I'm a rich entrepreneur now. Rather than like, no,
Yeah.
you've just built level 1. You've just outsourced. Now you actually need to do the real work. So we did that, and we ended up hiring staff like people from South America who were just getting paid as much as we were for running the business, and we just kind of screwed ourselves by paying too much money for too low leverage tasks. And that's kind of why for 6 months I had to jump back in and kind of do everything. Like I was doing the DMs, with a team of 3, and I was doing absolutely everything. That was like client facing and like DMs. Like I was working 12-hour a day doing DMs, and we're still making 10-12K a month, and it's like, I just gotta work harder. And now it's like, oh, I just have to actually get people in that are competent to do that, and then focus on, as I said, 15 times higher leverage stuff.
There we go. And Dylan, from an identity standpoint, obviously we touched on a few things, I think just before the call, where I think one of the things that you mentioned was what was it? Oh, I don't want to do outreach, to get clients or whatever it is. It would be great to hear, what's the identity shift that you made on your end, like before you joined the program. So what does version 1 of Dylan look like compared to,
Yeah.
let's just say version 1.1, because you've only been with us for under 3
Yeah.
months, right? What are some of the limiting beliefs you had around like outreach and systems in general compared to how you are now, which has allowed you to elevate?
Yeah, the one thing that really, really hit me, and like even watching the first few hours, I was like, oh, this is gonna work, but it's cringe. Like, I know I have to do it to make money, but I don't like it. Like, it's
Yep.
not a good thing. It's just what has to be done. And
Yep.
the quote from one of the videos, and I can't remember which one it was, but it's like, every single time you feel resistance to a task, get up and do it. Every single time you're like, hey, I don't want to do outreach at 3 a.m. in the morning. This sucks. My business sucks. Do 5 outreach. And just having that shift of like, hey, because it's like I used to do cold showers like all the time, and it's like just to have that built up resistance and hey, I need to go do the thing that I don't want to do to be a better person. That made me go, oh, I just need to do the hard work. And this is what building a business is. It's doing the shit that I don't want to do. Until now, outreach is fun. I jump on and I go, Dan's followed 50 people on Instagram. That's going to be 30 minutes of me going, hey, thanks so much. This is a little bit cheeky, but like for 20 seconds, over half an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, now it's fun. It's a game. It's like, how little times can I screw up over that 30-minute period? When my tone doesn't sound exactly right, or maybe I say a word wrong and I got to restart.
That's
But also on the mental side of things, it's like I no longer feel now that I have to do everything. And that was kind of a big limiting belief of like, we tried to outsource. Like we were spending, 18, 19,000 a month on staff when the business was making, 18, 19,000. And then we dropped to 15K, like basically I cleared 6K of expenses a month, and then went to doing everything myself. And I was like, we're now making profit again. The business works. And it's like, no. You just had a crappy team. And now you're trying to do the lowest leverage while paying myself a CEO wage. And it's like, that's not feasible. So yeah, just kind of detaching my personal ego from the business as well. Has been, it's still tough. Like it's still something I'm struggling with because, if I think back to myself pre this business, like I did YouTube back in the day when I was like 18, and I had like 50,000 subscribers, 18-year-old, like I failed like the equivalent of our GCSEs. Because I was like good intellectual, like I consider myself like highly intelligent, but I'm very bad at aptitude of doing tasks. Like when someone says go and do this task, I'm like, screw you, I want to be a business owner and I don't want to follow anyone's direction. I'll do what I think is best. And that went from like in school when I was younger being really good because it was just general understanding to when I actually had to sit down and learn a new thing, there's a lot of resistance there. Like I'll be dancing in the kitchen with my girlfriend and she'll be like, do this. And if I don't pick it up right away, it's like, oh, I'm not perfect at everything. No, thank you. So just getting through that discomfort has been really good of like, hey, I suck at outreach and I do it for a living. Like that's what we do as a business, but I suck at doing it for myself. So I need to just overcome that and just be in the crappy situation of just doing it.
There
You
we
know?
go. Smashed it, man. I love that. And one of the last few questions I have for you, Dylan, and we briefly touched on it, but it's one I always like to ask people like yourself, and I always typically get the same result because business owners like yourself are just full steam ahead.
Yeah.
First one, again, how does it feel to have this sense of predictability coming from a place of chaos? And second part, as an extension, have you taken the time to just sit back and go, wow,
Yeah.
I can breathe, I can hire, I can be a CEO with Dan. This is an actionable, functionable business because obviously what you've achieved in just under 3 months here is fantastic. But naturally, as a business owner, like all the interviews I tend to do, you guys are always, going full steam ahead.
Go, go,
So
go.
talk to me, man. Have you been able to reflect? How does it feel? And even on a personal level, how does it, affect your personal life in terms of the mental clarity and freedom you have?
Yeah, like it was crazy because if I look at like where I was even like 2 months ago when I was doing all the client work during the day and I was working like 12 to 9 because I like to wake up a little bit late. We work with American clients,
Yep,
so I get to have a little
yep,
lie.
yep. With
But
you.
then I would do like 9 p.m. to midnight doing DMs. And I was like, oh, I just have to work 12 hours a day. And it's like now that we're getting results because we have a good team and we have good systems, I can turn off at 9 p.m. without going, we need to do more because we're hitting KPIs for clients. Like I now can go, oh, I get to relax again. Like, because my girlfriend and I, like, we were working both of us like till midnight, like no free time. Like the relationship was like not able to even foster because we were having to work. And now she's gone from working like three people's jobs to now having the help where she can actually have a chill job and be a manager. So not only has it helped me, like Dan's also got the same situation where he doesn't have to kind of work 3,000%. I don't have to work 3,000%, and my partner who's working in the business doesn't have to work 3,000% because we have actual systems that even if we get 0 clients this month, I know next month we'll get 4.
Yeah.
You know, because the numbers will just make sense over a long enough period of time.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's music to my ears. And I'm going to share this interview with the team, specifically that part where you, your girlfriend, and even Dan, you can just breathe. Go to bed at
Yeah,
9 p.m., go cinema at 9 p.m., do,
yeah,
do one at 9 p.m. Please
yeah,
don't do another 4 hours extra work.
yeah,
You have a sense of predictability. And yeah, that's music to my ears, man. And again, Dylan, under 3 months, we still got
yeah,
a lot of time to blow these things up. So yeah, it's amazing, man. That I love that. I love that. As we sort of wrap up the interview, Dylan, there's typically two groups of people that watch this. The
mhm,
first of which is obviously existing students. The second of which are probably people like yourself and Dan who are on the fence and saying, "Oh, I don't know about this. It seems too good to be true, etc., etc." For current students, I know you've only been with us here for just under 3 months, but you still achieved some great success. What bits of key advices would you give them to succeed with the program from your experience?
yeah. The routine and the scheduling of the highest leverage tasks that you need to do need to always go at the start of your day. Like it's super easy to go, well, I've got to respond to clients and I've got to do this work and I've got to do that work. If you start putting your day from highest leverage tasks to lowest leverage tasks, two things are going to happen. One, you're going to start making more money and doing the right kind of things, but also you're going to realize those lower leverage tasks, you either need to delegate them today or you need to eliminate them. Because I'll get to the end of my day and a client will be like, can you do this? And I now get to go, no, I'm too tired. I'm not going to, this isn't going to make you any money. It's not worth my time and it's not worth me training. Go do it yourself. And it's now I get to decide how much energy I have at the end of the day rather than being run down and going, I'm going to put myself last and my growth of my business last rather than building up my clientele so I can serve clients more. You know, our clients love it that we have more staff on, more coverage, and they're getting better results because we put the time in to build a system that gets us more money in the bank account.
Yeah, that's a killer one. Literally arranging the task. It sounds so simple, right? But we
Yeah,
overlook it where it's like
yeah,
do your to-do list and then you start with the basic ones when actually start with the higher leverage ones, and then you'll
yeah,
see, oh, the stuff I was doing at the top, I should have been doing it way at the
yeah,
bottom.
yeah,
And that's just how to do it. So yeah, fantastic stuff. And you know, that's a bit of gold that current students can actually have, because I think you've seen it as well, Dylan. You probably experienced this as you went through the program. Like you just said there, it's so easy to go, oh, I'm just going to do XYZ instead of ABC, which should be at
yeah,
number one, purely
yeah.
because it's the easiest thing. So that's great stuff. And what would you say to people that are on the fence and have yet to join the program, almost as if you're speaking to yourself, Dylan, as well as
Yeah.
Dan, because I know you gents had reservations as well.
Yeah. There's we've invested in a bunch of different programs and like different mentorships from like eight-figure mentors, and all of them have been really, really good at motivating us and telling us, hey, you have the skill set to be a millionaire. Like that's not something that's individual to this program. But what this program does is give you the vocabulary and the actual implementable systems, which no program ever has, to go, if you follow the steps, you will make the money. Like, yes, you have the belief, and this program also does that, but it gives you the steps to go do this every single day, and you will make 4, 5, 10 times your money back in just 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
There we go. And yeah, just to double down on what Dylan said, uh, more than happy to motivate you, but that won't be the only thing you're getting.
Yeah, yeah.
I can assure you that. So yeah, good stuff. So yeah, that's amazing stuff, Dylan. As we wrap up, final question from me: where can they find you and Dan?
Yes, best place is on Instagram at data driven Dylan, DATA driven DRIVEN, and Dylan DYLAN.
Perfect. Amazing. So I'm going to pop that in the description if you want to keep up with Dylan here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the interview. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me just reiterate, this is just part one. Hopefully it's just not part one, and
Yeah, yeah.
Dylan is open to a part two. I'm kind of forcing
We have a
him.
we have a Lambo in the background. The next one, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
we kept scaling. Yeah, yeah. Like,
I'll rent out like a mansion so the background's not my wedding. But there you go. No, we're going to do a part two because, again, just to reiterate, guys, Dylan's been able to achieve this with his business partner in literally just under 3 months. It hasn't even been 3 months. It's going to be 3 months on the 1st of August, and it's the 23rd of July at the time of recording this. So yeah, if you're someone that's watching this interview and you're on the fence, um, and you don't know whether it's right for you, I always advise going through all of the different interviews, because you'll get greater context of the actual program and the individual in question, and also just booking a call with us to see if it makes sense for you. One thing I would say, and Dylan, I'm sure you'd agree with me on this, I always finish up my interview in the same way. If you want a magic pill that you can purchase something and you can have the pill for dinner, and all of a sudden you get like additional 30K months like Dylan here with no work whatsoever. That's not what this program is. Okay, I wish there was a secret magic pill to success. Don't be fooled by the lifestyle pictures and adverts with the Lamborghinis and Ferraris you still see on Instagram. It's possible, but it takes hard work. And with our program, we provide you with a proven framework, support, coaching calls, all that good stuff. But we need you to actually put in the time and effort like Dylan and Dan have, and then you'll see similar results. So long story short, if you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to follow a proven roadmap, be sure to book a call with us. If you are someone that just wants a magic pill that, wants immediate success, I'm going to save you the disappointment. We don't have that yet. If you do manage to find it for yourself, let me know, and I'll happily purchase it myself. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this client interview. Be sure to keep up with Dylan. Follow him at his Instagram using the description below. You'll find his link, and keep an eye out for part two. And in addition to this, I'm going to try and get his business partner, Dan, to get his perspective as well. So shout out to Dan if you're watching this. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the interview, guys. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.